crew? It is another video. How y'all like the first video? Like the first video was kind of like, I watched it back a couple of times because, you know, I'm like, whoa. I dropped some gems in the first video. And so what I'm doing is, like, as I'm making these videos, I'm not really prepping what I'm going to say because, number one, I wanted to be off the dome. And number two, I wanted to be my raw, real emotions. So I kind of have an idea of what I want to talk about today. So stay tuned. If you don't know, now you know that this is like a little series I'm doing for my long distance love, which is now 7 months in. Met London. If you don't know who London is, go back and watch the first video. I met London in January on Hinge. I changed my location from Florida to Hinge, and y'all know we got TikTok to the side, so I'll be looking over a little bit. This is watermelon. If you've never had the watermelon spears from Target, it's either a hit or a miss, and this is a hit. All right, this is a hit. If you like the first video, please go back and comment something. If you have any questions, comment. You can also follow me on Instagram. You might want to follow me on TikTok because TikTok is about to get the tea a week in advance. TikTok is about to get the tea a week in advance. So I'm not, by the time you guys see this video, it will probably be Sunday if I don't decide to do it sooner. But TikTok is going to get see it soon. So I just wanted to have my little watermelon. I'm almost done. What I meant was I'm almost full. All I need is this watermelon, y'all. So yeah, it's so funny because as I'm recording these videos, life is still happening, right? And our relationship is still growing. It was so funny because I expected him to have a reaction to the video that was totally different than the reaction he had. I didn't expect it to be negative. I just thought he would be more like cringy, but he really appreciated the video. And that made me feel good because, again, we're really different when it comes to certain things and like what we say and things like that. And so, yeah, it was really cool to hear him say like, oh my God, like I got the video. What's up, TJ? I am now recording, so that's my TikTok. I'm recording a YouTube video. So it was really good to see that he he enjoyed it. That made me happy, y'all. Oh, so they split up the eggs. So I got this little seafood boil. So we got the crab legs. I got hot in honor of him because I know that he likes hot. And so I'm trying to make my palate a little bit more taking the hot. One of his friends, she made me a meal when I was in Chicago. Now, that's on a future video. We'll talk about the Chicago trip. But she made me a meal, and when I tell you, there's actually a video I may put in when I talk about the Chicago trip where I'm like, he's recording me eating. And when I tell you that thing was good but spicy, I was like choking. I was so embarrassed. I was choking and everything. Okay. See, I think my spice level has gotten up a little bit because this is not even hot. It's so good, too. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video if you're liking this series so far. So I kind of gave you guys a synopsis of, oh, this is a little spicy. This is a little spicy. I kind of gave you guys a synopsis of the beginning, how we met. And I talked about like our first FaceTime and things like that. And so before we met, so leading up until we met, again, we met January. He said that I had to wait until meeting him to actually ask him to officially be with me, which was the end of April. And so I had already planned to, like, because we made the joke. If you watched the first video before, we made the joke. It's so funny because I'm trying to, like, I don't want to keep saying if you watch the first video, but I'm thinking about my sister and how she says when she watches YouTubers, they always refer to a time before and they never give the people like the update. They're just like, and they're like, nah, I got to go watch and find. So I'm trying to say that, but not. But anyway, I talked about how he said that, number one, I had to ask him in person before he said yes. And I would joke and say, you want me to jump out of a helicopter nest? And so I ordered these mini helicopters as a like a because I knew that we would go out to eat, and I would slide over the helicopter and say, look, I'm not jumping out of a helicopter, but would you be my boyfriend? Look how sweet that is. That is sweet, right? Is that sweet? I think it's sweet. I think that is romantic. Anyway, it was like how I imagined it was a nice dinner and things like that. And then we would slide over and come back to the nice dinner part. But I would slide over the helicopter. So anyway, fast forward, I bought my ticket. Now, mind you, this is the furthest I'm traveling alone. A lot of my friends and family had reservations about it. They were like, what are you doing? So I had been to Spain the year before, but that was with a group of people. So this is the time I was traveling by myself, 8 hours away on a plane, going to meet God knows who. So it's so funny because we had talked for 4 months at this point, or 3 months at this point. And I was just a little nervous about meeting him in person because you may talk to someone on the phone, but it's like the chemistry in person. Like, have you ever been chatting with somebody a couple of days and then you meet them in person and you like, I don't like the way they look when they do this. I don't like the way it's just a little thing that can give you the ick. And y'all know what the ick is. The ick is something you probably could never come back for. It's like that thing that's just like, what in the world? And so I was so nervous because I'm like, what if he has something that, like, we've invested 3 months into this thing, and what if I get there and it's not the same? And I kind of, my mind, I'm an overthinker. And so my mind was like, I don't know. He may say something. He may look at what I didn't know about. Like, I was just thinking. I don't want to say. I was just saying. Like, I was thinking about everything. Like smells. Will he like my smell? How does he smell? Like, I don't know how he smelled. I even tried to like ask him like what were some of his colognes. Like, what do you wear so I can go and smell it? I think he knew what I wear because one time he went to the mall with one of his friends and I told him what I wear. And he was like, "Oh, Andrew smells like this." But I had no idea what his cologne was, what lotion, what was his skincare, and so I was a little nervous. I was just like, I don't know. He's a very, very clean person, very meticulous. Because of that, he's a little slow. I love my babes, but he takes care. He takes really good care. And so I didn't really fear that much, but I was just a little bit like, I don't know. And so I get on this flight. I packed that little helicopter. I also had another special gift for him that I was not giving to him until he said yes. So I had another special gift that I wasn't going to give to him until he said yes. And so I get on the flight, international flight. I had to get some type of visa thing. It was like an electronic visa or something like that. Let me make sure I eat because y'all be getting on me. You didn't even eat. You called it a mukbang and you didn't even eat anything. Y'all like that? I'm eating now. I'm making y'all wait for the story. Since y'all want me to eat, I'm gonna eat. But I just don't be wanting to forget. I be like on the road, right? That's good. So I get on the flight, I land, and the plan was, so he stayed in the area outside of London, but we were going to meet in London. And so I was going to go to the hotel. Mind you, y'all, I did the most. See, when you're intentional about meeting someone, and I'm like that type, I'm the old school gentleman. So I'm going to lay it out for you. I had already contacted the hotel. I told the hotel our story. I told them what was going on. Everything. And I'm an ambassador level with Marriott. So I was like, look, I know that doesn't mean anything, but whatever you can do, help me out. Before you know it, like a week before the trip, I saw that my room had been upgraded to the collector's suite. Listen, I was like, look, if you're going to do it, you got to do it right, Drew. And I had to I'm like, this is my first time meeting him. I want to do it right. And so I got there. I ordered an Uber. The airport was super simple. I went to, what is it? I almost said LaGuardia. That's New York. What was it? Heathrow. I went into Heathrow. It was super simple. Like, it can be overwhelming sometimes, but for me, it was super simple. I found the Uber spot, and I Ubered to the hotel. he was already on his way because he had like a 45-minute drive, I think, from where he was. So I was super, super nervous. I get in and they're like, Mr. Andrew, we've been waiting for you. And I was like, I'm so nervous. He's on the way. Because mind you, they already knew the story. And so I went into the suite, beautiful suite, got a living room, bedroom, it's more than I could have ever imagined. Tub in the middle of the bathroom, stand-up shower, everything. So I'm so nervous. He's like 40 minutes away at this point, and my stomach starts to move. And I was like, oh my God. Do I wait until he gets here so he can walk into a fresh room, or do I use the bathroom right now and hurry up and try to get the smell? It was so embarrassing. Mind you, I done flew all the way to London about to meet this guy that I've talked to for 3 months, and my stomach is acting up. And it had to be the nerves. And so when I got in there, they kept knocking on my door. Mind you, I want to use the bathroom. So the first thing I noticed when I walked into the room, they had rose petals all over the bed. I was like, this is stuff that you usually pay for. But they gave me free upgrades because of my story. They had us a champagne bottle. They had us flowers, like a vase full of flowers. They kept knocking on the door, just bringing stuff. They had snacks, they had water. They just kept bringing stuff. And I was just like, wow, this guy's going to think like I went over the top. But it was really the hotel and the management staff that did it. And I'm going to go ahead and put them in the hotel in the description box below so you can know what hotel it was. But yeah, they just brought everything. So I'm on the toilet and I'm like, let me hurry up. I finished there, got the room smelling fresh again. I wanted to do so much more, but I couldn't. And he texted me and was like, I think I'm pulling up. So before he gets out, I'm on upstairs. My boss, so mind you, my boss and her boss, my teammates, they know the story from the beginning. So I was on FaceTime with him one day, and they had saw him, and they just were invested from the beginning. So they had called me and they were like, are you there? Are you in the hotel? And I was like, he just pulled up. And they were like, yes, take us with you. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you, like, I'm nervous. I'm sweating, having to wipe my sweat. What do you mean, take us with you? And so I literally like walked out the room because I'm rushing, went to the elevator, and I dropped them in my pocket because I'm like, I am not about to walk up to him with the phone in my face. Like, so I was just like, no, we're not going to do that. And so he gets out. So one of the things we always had a problem or had to talk about was height. I am not your tallest individual. My sister talks about this all the time where people say they're one height and they're really not. I did have to come to grips. I used to say I was 5'10". I am not 5'10" at all. I'm not even 5'9". I believe I'm 5'8", maybe 5'8.5". And so we were like going back and forth, and I was like, to be honest, of course I told him like it didn't matter if he was taller than me. I wouldn't mind. But some things is just a preference, and I prefer that the person I date is not taller than me. And I would see him in certain pictures and I'm like, bro, you tall. You are tall. You are tall. And I was like, oh God. And I knew he wouldn't be that much taller than me, but I kind of figured he would be tall. So I'm trying to gauge, and the way the hotel is, there's steps coming up. And so he gets out of the Uber and I go to the door. And he's not taller than me. He's like I'm a little bit taller than him. Not much, but I am taller than him. And we hugged. I helped him with his bags because I am a gentleman. And of course the hotel, the staff were all looking at the side, smiling. And then we walked into the room. And so when we walked into the room, I couldn't look at him. So one thing about me is when I'm nervous, I can barely look people in the eye because I'm nervous. It's hard for me. So I'm like, I could not. And he was like, he calls me like Mr. Andrew. He was like, Mr. Andrew, I'm over here. I'm here now. And he tried to act like he wasn't nervous too, but I know he was nervous because it's like, this is your first time meeting someone. So you're like, am I everything that they would have wanted? Am I am I all that, And so we hugged and we kissed for the first time, and it just went from there. Like, sorry, it was the first, because you know that first kiss is like, I've had some bad kisses. Oh my, I've had the pecker, like somebody that pecks. I've had the too much tongue. I've had some bad. We all had some bad kiss, and so I was just like, I don't know how this is gonna work. But when I tell you, it was just the perfect kiss, first kiss. Uh, I wish he was here. Like, I'm gonna, because I'm over here like, it was the perfect first kiss. And what if he's like, it was all right. I'm gonna ask him after this, like, how was our first kiss? I'm gonna do it through text, and I'm gonna show you guys what he says through text. So I'm like, if you had to describe my first kiss, what would you say? But to me, it was the perfect first kiss. Every fear that I had just went away. It was like we had no, because remember, we had talked with each other for 3 months. And so we went to dinner that night. Let me hurry up. Let me speed it up. I don't even know how long I've been on here. Let's see. How long have I been on here? Okay, good. We got about 10 more minutes. So we went to dinner that we always plan to go to dinner that night, because I'm like, I want to ask him to be with me the first night I'm in London, because I want us to spend the rest of the time I'm in London as, boyfriends. Like, I want us to be boyfriends. And so we were good. We were getting, took us a little minute, but we had to get ready for dinner and stop doing all the other stuff. Because it was, we just connected. We really connected, and he's just amazing. He's an amazing person. Every time I talk to him, like, my cheeks are hurting right now, because he's an amazing person, and we just did a lot of things. So the first thing was to go to dinner, and one of his friends recommended this spot. Now, first of all, we couldn't find the spot. The Uber driver dropped us off right in front of it, and we walked like to go look for it, but it was right there. So we finally made our way back. They were closing, almost closing. So it was kind of weird and awkward. And then we sat down to eat. So here's the thing. You know how you picture something in your mind over and over again? I pictured like this table, maybe in the middle of the room or to the corner of the room. White tablecloth, nice little dining, and I could slide the helicopter over. Child, we walk in this place, have to go downstairs, and the tables were so close to one another. So this is not a private conversation. First of all, it wasn't even like, it was a bench. Like, you know how it was like the table was this small, like this, and the person was this Coke bottle. So how in the world am I supposed to have an intimate conversation? Like, he's right. And so I'm sweating by that. The food was horrible. Okay, let me stop. Okay, let's be smart, Drew. The food wasn't horrible. The food was mid, okay? And I'm used to, seasoned food, and but he agreed, like, the fish tasted like water, and I'm just like, this has ruined my entire plan. And then I got these people over here giggling, and I'm just like, I gotta ask him. And so I'm like trying to whisper, but not whisper, because I'm not ashamed, but it's kind of awkward. And so I'm like, I was so nervous. He was like, yes. And I'm like, so here's the helicopter. And you know how you always say, jump out of a helicopter? Or I say that. I was like, I can't jump out of the helicopter, but here's the helicopter. Would you be my boyfriend? And of course he was like, oh, okay. And then that's when I passed over the necklace or whatever I had got him as a gift. And he just kept saying, like, you're so nervous. And I'm like, duh, I'm nervous. And so I think that first night we were still hungry. So when we got back to the hotel, we actually went to I think that was the night we went to their restaurant, got a couple of drinks and got some food. And then we recorded a video there, and it was kind of sweet, like a little, our first time video. And then from there, London was great. We did some sightseeing stuff. We went to like this art place, museum. We went to the Shard. We went to Burroughs Market. So here's the thing. So here's the teaching moment, because I like to drop teaching moments for long distance in relationships, period. And so we went to this golf place, mini golf place, and he ran into this friend that he hadn't seen in years, like a couple of years. And so they're talking. And so, of course, I'm kind of nervous because this is my first time with him out in public where someone sees us that he knows. So I'm just like, So I just fall back, right? I just fall back and I'm sitting there, and not even halfway through the conversation, he stops and he said, "Oh my God, this is my boyfriend." And he was like so proud. Like he stopped, like whatever they were talking about. Her boyfriend was on the side of her and she was just like had him, but he was just like intentional about this. If this is my boyfriend, he pulled me up and I almost didn't want him to do it because I'm like, I don't really know her. I just met you in person. So I'm just like, I just fell back. But he was like, so like, this is my boy. And I was just like, it's crazy because a lot of times, you know, you will go throughout life, and sometimes, you know, you'll have your partner, but it's like he was so intentional and proud about introducing me as his boyfriend. And it was like he didn't want me to just stay to the side. It's like, no, join in on the conversation, like be present in this moment. And I think, and that's what I meant on my first video about the emotional intelligence he came with. And I don't think he realizes it. Like sometimes he just does things and it's just who he is. And it just comes off as, wow, that's stuff that people want. People want their partner to be focused or to be caring in that way, to say, I'm not just going to sit here and have a conversation. I'm going to go in and introduce my partner. Mind you, I was not thinking about it and I was a little nervous, but the fact that he did it just went a long way. And not only that, so after London was done, I'm trying to think, is there something else I want to talk about? I mean, the food, I kept complaining about the food. He knows that. But we were going to go to London for a couple of days, and then I wanted to spend a couple of days in his town where he was living outside of London. And so we did that. Now here, and I got about 5 minutes, here's where we meet the friends. So the first, well, actually in London, I met his best friend. Now there's a close friend he has where we have talked. We didn't really talk, but we communicated before I got there. You know, we exchanged pleasantries, you know, and I've always known you got to be nice to your guys' best friends, because if you don't get the approval of the best friends, sometimes, you know, you don't get the approval of the guy. So I've always been the one that, like, and I tell him even to this day, we talk about it more seriously now, because I did something for someone and he said, why did you do that? I just want to ask you, why did you do that? And I said, you know what? I was like, I don't know them. I was like, but you care about them. And if you care about them, I care about them. Right. And that's how it, if I trust you, I care for you. And if you feel like this person is special and that, you know, you're my partner. And so I've been like that all the time. And so, yeah, so I met her and her boyfriend was, we're going to go in passing because they were going out. And so we were like, I just met her briefly, gave her a hug. It's you. And then we were going to plan dinner later. And so I'm super nervous about meeting the friends. I don't know. I wasn't really nervous. I was just like, you know, because there's an age difference between us two. It's about 8 or 9 years. There's an age difference. And his friends are around his age. And so I was just a little like, I don't know if I can, you know, like, I don't know. I'm getting choked up. Okay, so I get to the place, his hometown, check into the hotel, and the first friend we meet, she was very much like, me and her almost have like the same personality, very like wild and out there. And there was a lot. And so it wasn't a lot. It was just like, oh, okay, like she's there. But what was a lot was I wasn't used to seeing. Before that, I wasn't used to seeing London. I'm probably gonna have to edit that. I wasn't used to seeing London act in the way that he did when he was around her. He let loose. He let his hair down, and he was like, "Girl," and like he was just free and just like just laughing and making jokes that I wasn't used to him making. I was like, okay, like usually I'm the one, like, but he was just like out there with this particular friend. And she was so cool, so like down to earth. We went out to eat, we had fun. We talked about a lot of things, and then she was cool. And I was just like, I like her. I liked her, and I think she liked me or whatever. And we just vibed, right? And so that was kind of cool. And that ended. And then the next day, we met up with the friend that I had known of. I knew of all of them, but the friend that I had kind of communicated with, or he had been telling about me, and she had been giving him advice. And you know that that meetup was a little bit it was good. It was a good meetup. It was just, it was, I don't know why I felt like I was, cause you know, this is your partner's best friend. So you don't know like all that may have been said at that time, right? Now we're in a different place, but at that time. And so I was like talking and, you know, I don't think he had shared with her everything that I had said. And so the questions that were coming to me, I was just like, kind of trying to think about him. Anyway, it was a good dinner, but I wish we had a chance to like really like she really got a chance to like know me. Because in that dinner I felt like I was trying to like explain certain things, which was right because we, you know, conversations were had about certain situations, whatever the case may be. And but it was just refreshing like meeting some of them. I met another one of his friends in passing, and so before I left, I actually sent each and every one of his friends a message and just thanked them for meeting them, for wanting to meet me and meeting them, and for who they are to his life, because his friends are very important to him. These are friends that he has had for a long time, and they have been through a lot together, school and everything. And so like they were very important. It was important for me to like show them that, you know, I have, although I'm just meeting him, I had his best interest at heart, and I still have his best interest at heart. So, yeah, I think that's it. That is all I want to talk about the first meet. That was our first meeting, and so leaving, was super hard. Mind you, we went through like some. We went through some like little things. So there's this thing when I'm about to leave, I get very, or I used to get very antsy and very like out of control, and my mind starts going different places. And so we had like a little like talk before before the last day, and it just was like him again, just like, you know what, we got this. And I'm like, I don't know, because I think I wasn't gonna see him until like 3 weeks later or something like that. And so yeah, maybe 2 weeks later I was gonna see him. And so because he was coming over, and that's what that the next video is gonna be about Chicago. But yeah, all in all, I would say just what that first trip taught me is uh you don't know, because a lot of people are like, you don't know until you don't know. I got a chance to spend multiple days with him, and we still in that first trip weren't in our element. We were still trying to, you know, save face, and but I think we got comfortable with one another really, really quickly. Really, really quickly. We became comfortable with one another really quickly, not trying to put on the facade, like showing each other who we really, really are. And it's still unfolding today. Like we still continue to show each other who we are. And that'll never change. I don't think that'll ever stop. And that's why we made this commitment to be with one another, because it's like we're always going to be learning about one another. We're always going to be growing. We just have to speed things up because of, or we did speed things up because of the long distance and because of the having to talk every single day, all day. We didn't have to, but we wanted to. He's my best friend. He's literally my best friend. We become best friends, my world. And so, yeah, that's part two. That's me going to London. I actually, got up that next day, and he walked me downstairs to my ride, my Uber, which was going to be a long drive. It was about a 45-minute, 30-minute drive. And I drove away. And it was the hardest thing to ever do. Here I am. I met the love of my life, and I had to leave him. And it was hard. He later told me he cried. I don't know if I can put his business out there, but I will. He later told me that he cried, and yeah, I was very emotional. I was very emotional. And I got back, I drove up, And I knew I would see him in 2 weeks, but it still was hard. And so, yeah, we still navigate that. Again, we have our moments. Like today, we haven't really talked all day. We've texted and we send each other reels like crazy. So we send each other reels. And the thing is, we respond to every single reel. Now, if he was on, he would say, yeah, but he misses something because it's so bad because I'll send him a reel he has already sent me and he gets so pissed. Because he's like, why did you send me this? And I was like, it was funny, right? He was like, I already sent this to you. But we don't, like some days we don't talk all day, but we talk quite a bit. And like tomorrow, like we'll talk tonight. We'll go to sleep together tonight. But that's the video for today, guys. Come back next week. Part 3, we are going to talk about... Uh-oh. Oh, no. Wow. That was perfect, guys. Part 3, we're going to talk about Chicago. We're going to talk about Chicago. And then I'm going to add in some things in between because, it wasn't just the meetups. It was like conversations on the phone and things that we had to go through. So I'm going to talk about that. I need to clean this up. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will be back next week. Bye. Bye. God damn it. No.